So, Mike, were you surprised to see that Boyhood had so many nominations?
Not at all, Jay. It's truly an amazing film. But did you know that it took 12 years to make? Nothing has ever taken 12 years to make.
Richard Linklater is a director who has near enough mastered how to reflect a sense of real life into his scripts. From Dazed and Confused to School of Rock and even Everybody Wants Some, watching a Linklater movie has always been a real treat for me. And in the 2000s, Linklater embarked on something that had never been attempted in the history of film. What would happen if you filmed a movie over 12 years with the same cast? The answer? You get Boyhood. This was my favorite movie of 2014, and that's partly due to me having grown up in the era that the movie takes place in, which made me able to relate to the main character of Mason. But nearly every film fan I've talked to says the same thing. Mason does nothing, the movie has no plot, and it's just a lot of yelling. And I think Mason is a great example of how to write a passive protagonist and still make it engaging. In K.M. Weiland's book, Creating Character Arcs, she says, once you understand how plot, character, and theme all work together, chances are good that if you get one of them right, you'll get all three right. And additionally, in a post by Rachel Gardner, is your main character proactive or reactive, she pointed out, you cannot have an effective protagonist who simply responds to events happening around him or her. Your protagonist must act, not just react. Mason starts off very reactive, or in this case, passive. Events happen around him as he grows up. He witnesses his mother marry several times, he has meaningful conversations with his dad, he struggles with learning responsibility, and has his life turned upside down several times. However, in the later half of the movie, he does begin to become more slightly proactive, and we begin to understand who he is as a person at the same time he does. This is a movie about every aspect of growing up, the struggles, the optimism, and discovering who you are all put into this package. Near the end, he says to his photography teacher that he wants to make art. Since we've grown with Mason for the movie, we've seen the kind of life he was used to. On weekends, he would go on trips with his dad, they go bowling, to baseball games, and the outdoors. He has experiences, but it's how he reacts to them that makes the movie special. Mason seems to only ever be happy and engaging when he's with his dad. Around everyone else, he keeps to himself and is mostly quiet. It's this frustration with how he doesn't know what kind of person he wants to be till the very end. When he sees that his father has remarried with a new job and family and those experiences will begin to fade, he may still go on trips with his dad, but they're never going to be the same. Now we know all Mason wanted was a normal life and he wanted his dad back, but he does nothing to achieve this, because in real life, there isn't much you can do to achieve that. You take what happens and you make the most of it. This is also reflected in the movie's main theme song, Family of the Year's Hero.
Let me go. I don't wanna be your hero. I don't wanna be a big man. I just wanna fight with everyone else.
In these lyrics' case, it shows that Mason isn't someone who wants to be special. He just wants to live a happy life like the people he sees at school growing up. The line, I just want to fight like everyone else, isn't so much a desire to get into a fight, but more a hint at the fight we go through every day, our struggle with growing up in an ever-changing world. Regarding the film's lack of plot, I ask this. Does life follow a structure? I'm aware that sounds incredibly pretentious, and it probably is, but think about it. Our lives change, sometimes unexpectedly, meeting people we never thought would make an impact on us, and changing and growing because of it. Choosing to make Mason more passive, it becomes more of a rewarding experience at the end as we grow with him. And he figures out who he is, at the same time we learn it with him. What bothers me about the common criticism that it took 12 years to make feels like a shallow way to dismiss the creative choices that Linklater intended. We live in a world where stories feel like they have to be put inside a structural box in order to sell. We thrive off endless heroes' journeys and common 3-act structures that, whilst the execution of these can be good, sometimes it will all blend together. My goal with this channel is to help us become better storytellers, and we can't do that if we tear down anything for being different. Textbook example. I didn't see Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk in theaters, as I was convinced from the reactions that it would just be another war movie, and not being a fan of that genre, I dismissed it. It's only when I saw it on Blu-ray later that I was kicking myself for not experiencing this in a theater. I don't believe Richard Linklater created Boyhood for box office success or for Oscar bait. He made Boyhood for one reason. He wanted to. Whilst it's true that when writing a story, an active protagonist is often more appealing to the average reader than a passive one, Boyhood shows us that a passive one is still possible. All you have to do is make the events around them interesting, give them defined qualities, have them change with the audience, and most importantly, make him relatable. And don't get me wrong, a lot of passive protagonists are boring and unengaging, but they're also not relatable. Mason is different. He's just like us. He's quite a minimalist kind of character, to the point that you can see yourself in him. So don't put your stories in a box. If you can bend the rules and tell a story in a unique and ambitious way, do it. After all, when watching a movie at home, why do you think our first action is to take it out of a box? Hey guys, thanks for watching. I've been wanting to make this essay for a while, and I figured this slight rebranding of the channel would make it a great start. I adore this movie, and whilst I know others don't love it as much as me, I wanted to highlight what I think makes it special. Now, I want this to be a very different show going forward, to analyze story elements by applying them to the art we know. And also, I've set up a Patreon page now for my videos. As every creator will tell you, you do not have to sign up for that, but if you do want to pledge to me and help this channel grow, I will be forever grateful. Some of the rewards include your name at the end of every video, special requests that are guaranteed to be made, and an invite to my monthly Google Hangout chat so I can get to know you guys better, and we can become better storytellers together. If you can't afford this, I understand, but instead if you would like, share, and subscribe, that also goes a long way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.